In a stunning display of precision and power, Ukrainian forces have just executed one of the most audacious drone strikes of the entire conflict. We're talking about a massive swarm of 26 drones targeting a high-value Russian command post near Pokrovsk. This wasn't just any military base. Sources indicate this was a critical nerve center, a headquarters valued at an astonishing $80 million. But what happened after the initial strike is what truly changes the game. Stick with me, because this story gets even more intense. The operation began under the cover of darkness. A meticulously planned assault aimed at decapitating Russian command and control in a vital sector of the front line. The target, located deep behind enemy lines, was thought to be secure, protected by layers of air defense. But Ukrainian intelligence and ingenuity proved superior. Using a combination of long-range attack drones and smaller FPV units for pinpoint accuracy, they unleashed a coordinated storm. Initial reports from Ukrainian military sources, corroborated by satellite imagery and intercepted communications, paint a picture of total devastation. The first wave of drones systematically dismantled the facility's air defense systems, clearing the path for the main assault. Then, the subsequent waves rained down, targeting the main command building, communication arrays, and ammunition depots. Videos emerging from the area show massive secondary explosions, indicating that ammunition and fuel stores were hit, amplifying the destruction far beyond the initial impacts. Imagine the chaos on the ground. A facility worth $80 million, housing senior officers and critical strategic equipment, suddenly erased from the map. This wasn't just a material loss for Russia. It was a devastating psychological blow. The strike demonstrates Ukraine's growing capability to reach deep into occupied territory and hit targets with surgical precision, leaving Russian forces feeling vulnerable everywhere. The level of coordination required for an attack involving 26 drones is immense, showcasing a significant leap in Ukraine's operational capacity. But here's where the story takes an even more dramatic turn. Just as the smoke began to clear, something else happened. In the immediate aftermath, Russian forces in the area were thrown into complete disarray. With their command structure shattered, communication lines severed, and leadership eliminated or in hiding, the frontline units were effectively blinded. They lost their ability to coordinate defenses, call for artillery support, or receive orders. And Ukraine was ready. They didn't just hit the headquarters and celebrate. This was part of a much larger, brilliantly orchestrated plan. As the Russian command structure crumbled, Ukrainian ground forces launched a series of probing attacks along the Pokrovsk axis. They exploited the confusion, pushing forward into areas that were previously heavily defended. Without direction from their commanders, Russian soldiers were forced into disorganized retreats, abandoning fortified positions This is the "then this happened" part of the story. The drone strike wasn't the end goal. It was the opening move of a masterful chess game. It created a window of opportunity, a moment of weakness, and Ukrainian forces surged through it. We're seeing reports of significant tactical gains, with several small settlements being contested or liberated in the hours following the strike. This is a textbook example of modern combined arms warfare, using technological superiority in the air to directly enable advances on the ground. The financial cost for Russia is staggering. An $80 million headquarters is not something you can just rebuild overnight. This includes the physical infrastructure, the sophisticated electronics, the secure communication systems, and likely a significant amount of military hardware stored on-site. But the human cost, particularly the loss of experienced senior officers, is arguably even more damaging. These are the commanders who plan operations, manage logistics, and maintain troop morale. Replacing that level of expertise is incredibly difficult, especially in the midst of an intense conflict. Let's put this into perspective. This single drone operation may have had a greater impact on the immediate battlefield than weeks of attritional trench warfare. It shows a strategic shift in Ukrainian thinking. Why waste lives and resources on frontal assaults when you can neutralize the enemy's brain? By taking out the command post, Ukraine effectively paralyzed an entire section of the Russian army, making subsequent ground operations far less costly and far more successful. What does this mean for the future of the war? First, it proves that no Russian position, no matter how far from the front line, is safe. Ukraine's drone capabilities are evolving at a breathtaking pace. They are no longer just for reconnaissance or small-scale harassment. They are strategic weapons capable of delivering decisive blows. This forces Russia to rethink its entire defensive posture, pulling valuable air defense systems away from the front to protect their rear areas, which in turn makes their frontline troops even more vulnerable. Second, it highlights the incredible innovation and adaptability of the Ukrainian military. They are pioneering new tactics, combining different types of drones with traditional military operations in ways no one has ever seen before. This is the future of warfare playing out right before our eyes, and Ukraine is writing the playbook. The psychological impact on Russian soldiers cannot be overstated. Knowing that a swarm of drones could appear out of nowhere and obliterate your command center is terrifying and deeply demoralizing. The fallout from this strike will be felt for weeks, if not months. Russia will now have to scramble to establish a new command structure in a critical area, all while under constant pressure from Ukrainian ground attacks. The intelligence gathered by the drones before and during the strike will also provide Ukraine with invaluable information about Russian troop deployments defensive layouts, and logistical routes. This wasn't just a successful military strike. It was a strategic masterpiece. It was a bold declaration that Ukraine is not just defending. It is actively taking the fight to the enemy in smart, effective, and devastating ways. The attack on the $80 million headquarters near Pokrovsk will be studied by military analysts for years to come as a perfect example of how technology, intelligence, and bold planning can completely change the dynamics of a battlefield. It's a testament to the courage and ingenuity of the Ukrainian forces. They are consistently outthinking and outmaneuvering a much larger adversary, using every tool at their disposal to defend their homeland. This operation sends a clear message. Ukraine sets the terms of this fight. Thanks for watching. This is a developing story, and we'll be sure to bring you more updates as they come in. If you found this analysis insightful, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more in-depth coverage of the conflict. Stay safe and see you in the next video.